direct and what? Indirect what? Speech. Direct and indirect what? Speech. So we discussed about some of them yesterday. What is a direct speech? I said we have two ways of reporting. What are that? We have the direct way, and we have what? The indirect way. Now, what is the direct way of reporting things? It's called the quoted direct speech, or what do we say? Quoted speech. And here, what do we do? Copy. And here we bring what? Changes. What else do we call it? It's called reported speech. Reported. And here, when do we use reported speech? We use reported speech to, come on. We use reported speech. Where do we use them? We use reported speech in books, magazines, newspapers, and these things, okay? And what do we do in indirect speech? In indirect speech, we actually bring changes, we convey the message, and we use our own words to convey a sentence or a message. So that was all about the introduction about direct and indirect speech. And yesterday we talked about some ways to change a direct speech into an indirect speech. Now, if I want to change a direct speech into indirect speech, like this, if I say he said to me, I, for example, I am your friend. He said to me, I am your friend. It's a very easy sentence. How should I change this sentence? But before that, what do we call this speech? Is it direct speech or indirect speech? And I said the direct speech has how many parts? 2 parts. So what do we call this part? Reporting part. What do we call that part? The reported part. Now, this is called the reporting part. And what is he here? What subject? Reporting subject. What is said here? Reporting verb. What about me here? It's a reporting object. And what do we call this one? This is called the reported part. What do we call I here? I is the reported subject. And M is the reported verb. Your friend. It's a complement, reported complement. Now, the question is, how can I change this sentence to an indirect speech? How can I change this sentence to an what? Indirect speech. How should I change? We discussed about the steps. Step number 1, what do? We do not change this one. We just bring it down. What do we say? He said to me. After reporting part, what do we use? That. Now, how should I change the pronoun? So there was a chart. What chart? Let's write it again. We have S-O and S-O and sun chart. S-O and number 1, 2, and 3. The first one here, it belongs to what part? Reporting part. And this one belongs to what? Reported part. Now, what does one show? One first person. Okay, so who are the first? Who is the first person? We have I, and then for plural we say we, me, us. Come on, tell me. We have my, our, ours, and so on. So, what is the second person? You. You, your, yours. The third person, what is the third person? He, she, it, they. And also the object pronouns, he, him, her, it, them, anything that belongs to the third person. So the first person changes according to the subject of what? Reporting part. The second person changes according to the object. Third person, no change. S shows what? Subject. O shows object. And this one shows no. Do not say noun. The first time you say noun. That's not noun. Now, I forgot one point here. What do we call these commas? Inverted commas or quotation mark? Right? What do we say? Inverted commas. Inverted commas or quotation mark. Quotation mark. Now, here it's the mark that shows actually that it's not what? It's just a copy. It's not your sentence. Now, how should I change it? He said to me that. Okay. If I want to change he said to me that, what is the pronoun here? I. And the first person changes according to the subject. What is the subject here? Subject of reporting part here is he. I changes to he. What tense is this? Simple present. Simple present tense changes to simple past. That he was, you were. How can I change you were? It's second person. And second person possessive. And second person here according to the what? Object. So it changes according to me, but it doesn't change to me. So we use the possessive of me. What is the possessive of me? My friend. Now this is called a what speech? It's called an indirect speech. It's called an indirect speech. Now that was just a review of yesterday, and today we will discuss about all the tenses that we have. So let's go and focus on how we can change each and every one of the tenses. Can you close the door? They create a lot of sound. Now, if I want to change a direct speech into an indirect speech. Tenses. Today we'll talk about how to change the tenses. Let's start from the first tense. First tense is simple present. Simple present changes to what? Simple past. I said the tense goes one tense back. And we discussed about the rules if you remember. The introductory verb must be simple past. If it's simple past, we can change. If it's other tenses, we cannot change the tense, but we change the others. And here I will discuss about when we cannot change as soon as I'm done with these things. So number two, we have a present continuous tense. How should I change present continuous? Present continuous tense changes to what? Past continuous tense. A present continuous tense changes to past continuous tense. So if I have an example like this, she told him, look, she told him, you are not helping me. You're not helping me. How should I change this sentence or this to indirect speech? Look, this is a direct speech. How should I change it to indirect speech? So first part, what is rule number one? We don't change the reporting part. We bring it down. What do we say? She told him. After that, what do we use? That. She told him that. Now, how should I change this pronoun? Second person. Second person changes according to the object. Which one is the object? Him. So here, second person, you changes according to him, but you is used as a subject, so we use the subject of him. So what is the subject of him? Subject of him is what? He. And what tense is this? Present continuous. Present continuous changes to past continuous. That he was not helping. Helping whom? So me. Again, it's the first person. First person changes according to the subject. So we use the object of she. What is the object of she? Her. Now what tense? This is a what speech? It's an indirect speech. Now present continuous changes to what tense? Past continuous tense. If I say Ali said to me, look, Ali said to me, I am actually making a new album. Now, how should I change this one? Ali said to me, I am making a new album. So, this is a direct speech. How should I change it to indirect speech? Bring it down. What do we say? Ali said to me. You know the rules again. Ali said to me. After that, we use what? That. And I also said yesterday, if the introductory verb is said or told, that is what? Optional. Very nice. Say to me that. I. What? So I is the pronoun here. I changes according to the. What is the subject here? Ali. So I becomes what? He. Now, what tense is this? Present continuous tense. Present continuous tense changes to past continuous. That he was making what? He was making a new what? Album. Is this difficult? It's not difficult. So remember that present continuous tense changes to what tense? Past continuous tense. Now let's go and talk about another tense. If I have another tense, let me write it down first. Number 3, if I have a present perfect tense, look, what do we change it here? Present perfect changes to what tense? present perfect changes to, present perfect changes to, now the present perfect changes to, you tell me, present perfect changes to past perfect. Present perfect changes to past perfect. Now, if I have a sentence like this, he told her, look, he told her, I have typed your article. I have typed your article. How should I change it to indirect speech? He told her, I have typed your article. Now, what tense is this? Here, the first one, this is a direct speech. How can I change it to what? Indirect speech. What should I do now here? Bring it down. We bring down which part? The reporting part. So what should I say? He told her. After that, what do we use? That. Now, how should I change I? I is the first person, second or third person? I is the first person, and the first person changes according to the subject. What is subject here? He. I becomes he. I have typed your article. What tense is this? Present perfect. Present perfect changes to the past perfect. So that he had typed. That he had typed. Whose article? It's your article. Now your article is the second person, changes according to the object. So, and your is a possessive adjective. So we use the possessive adjective of her. What is the possessive adjective of her? It's her again. What do we say? Her article. Is this difficult? Not difficult. Let me give you one more example. If I say, they told me, you have not brought our books. Now, how should I change this sentence to indirect speech? Look, they told me you have not brought our books. How should I change it now? So bring it down. What do we say? They told me. Very nice. After that, what do we use? That. Now, what tense is this? First pronoun, you. Who is this you? Second person. It changes according to what? Object. What is the object here? So you is subject. We use the subject of me. What's subject of me? I. Very nice. What tense is this? Present perfect. So present perfect changes to what? Past. Had not brought our books. How should I change this one? Our books. Now, our books, it changes to according to what? Object. What is the object here? Now, here, it's the first person. It changes according, not object, subject. Our is the first person. It changes according to the subject. Subject is they. So we use our books becomes what? Their books. It's possessive, okay? So what do we say? Their books. What tense is this now? Past perfect. The next tense. If I have number 4, if I have a present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect what? Present perfect continuous tense changes to what? Present perfect continuous tense changes to past perfect continuous tense. Now, let me write it. So, if I have present perfect continuous changes to what? Past perfect continuous tense. If I have a present perfect continuous, it changes to what tense? Past perfect continuous tense. Now, if I say he told them, you have been sleeping the whole day. Now, how should I change this sentence to indirect speech? So here it says he told them that you have been sleeping for the whole day. How should I change it to indirect speech? Now, the first one, we bring it down. This is a direct speech. How can I change it to indirect speech? What should I do here? So we bring it down. We can say he told them. After that, what do we use? That. Who is this you? Pronoun. So the pronoun is the second person. It changes according to the object. What is the object here? Them. So you becomes they. Very nice. Why they? Because you is used as a subject. So that they, what tense is this? Present perfect continuous. It changes to what tense? Past perfect continuous tense. That they had been what? Sleeping the whole day. They had been sleeping for the whole what? Day. If I have another tense, if I say, you, listen up, you told her, look, you told her, I have not been doing my homework. Now, how should you change this one? You told her I have not been doing my homework. Change it now. If I want to change it, so bring it down, what do we say? You told her. After that, what do we use? That. I is the first person. The first person changes according to the subject. I becomes you. Okay? That. So you told her that you. What tense is this? Present perfect. So it becomes what? That you had not been doing. My homework becomes. So my is the first person, second or third? First person. Now, how should I change my? My changes according to the object. What is the object here? Her. Subject. Sorry, my is the first person. Sorry. My is the first person, changes according to the subject. What is subject? You. So, here, my homework becomes your homework. Very nice. So, that was all about how we can change a present perfect continuous, and it changes to what? Past perfect continuous tense. Now, let's go to the past tenses. How should I change the past tenses? Number 5, if I have a simple past changes to past perfect. Simple past changes to past perfect. It changes to past perfect. Remember, guys, it changes to past perfect in written English. What English? In written English. In spoken English, it can remain. It can remain what? It can remain unchanged. Very nice. It can remain what? Unchanged. All the past tenses, actually, not only simple past. If I have a sentence, look. She told him. Look, she told him, I was late. Okay, yesterday. I was late yesterday. How should I change this sentence? She told him I was late yesterday. Now, how should I change that? Step number 1. Bring it down. What do we say? She told him that. Now, this I, first person, changes according to the subject. What is subject here? She. That she, what tense is this? Simple past. Simple past changes to past perfect. So I was late becomes that she had been late. So yesterday changes to the previous day. I will write it down actually later how we can change the expressions. So yesterday changes to what? The previous day. Now remember that's the way we can change it. Can I clean that chart, sun chart? Or I can clean it because you know all of them. Do you know all of them? Of course you know. You have to just put them in your mind and don't let it go away. Okay? Good. Now, there are some expressions that we can change. What are they? Today. We have today, we have tomorrow, we have yesterday, simple past. Next one, we can say the day after tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. We have, and the next one, for example, we can say last week, last month, or next week. How should I change them? Now the first one, today changes to, so here this is the direct speech, and we have what? Indirect speech. So if we have today changes to that day. Tomorrow changes to what? What do we say? It changes to the what day? The next day, or we can also say what day? The following day. And yesterday changes to what? The previous day, or the day before. The previous day. And the day after tomorrow changes to what? In 2 days. 2 days what? Time. Last week changes to? Last changes to the previous week. Last month changes to what? The previous month. The next month. Next week changes to what? The following week, and so on. If I have now changes to, come on, didn't. Just remember these things. Here, the same case. This yesterday changes to what day? That day. Yesterday changes to that day. If I have another example, he told me you failed the, for example, test last month. Change it now. Here we can say she told me you failed the test last month. Change it now. If I want to change it, we can say he told me, very nice, that you, the second person. How can I change it now? Object. What is the object here? Me. You changes to I. Why I? Because the I is subject. What tense is this? Simple past. Simple past changes to that I had felt, or we can also say felt the test. Last month changes to what? The previous month. The previous month. That's how we can change it. Now remember, guys, here in spoken English it can remain unchanged. You can also say felt. You can say he told me that I had felt, or I failed the test. It can be both. But in written English we have to change it to past perfect. Now that's the way we can change simple past. Now the next tense, if we have past continuous tense. Now past continuous tense changes to what tense? Let me clean this side. Past continuous tense changes to past, very nice, past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense. Now remember, it can also remain unchanged in which is English? In spoken English. It can remain unchanged in spoken English. Now, if I have a sentence like this, he told me I was playing well. How should I change this sentence to indirect speech? He told me I was playing well. Change it now. So we can say he told me that I becomes what? It changes according to the subject because it's the first person. I changes according to I becomes he. What tense is this? Some past continuous. Past continuous changes to past perfect. That he had been what? That he had been playing what? Well. This is how we can change. Past continuous tense changes to past perfect continuous tense. Now, if I have another example. I told, for example, I told you were not writing anything. Now, how should I change it now? I told you weren't writing anything. Change it now. So we can say I told you, very nice, that you. Who is you? Second person. It changes according to the object. You becomes again you. Now what tense is this? Present, past continuous. Past continuous, yeah. Past continuous changes to past perfect continuous. That you had not been writing what? Anything. It's very easy, isn't it easy? Now remember, guys, in spoken English it can remain what? Unchanged. You can also say, I told you that you weren't writing anything. So, but in written English, what should we do? We have to change it. Now, if I have another tense, number 7, if I have a past perfect and past perfect, so how should I change? Past perfect changes to what? Past perfect. It doesn't change. So we can change it to itself. I mean, the tense doesn't change. We can change other things. If I have a sentence, for example, If I have a sentence like this, look, you said to me, look, you said to me, I had prepared everything. I had prepared everything for you. Went, for example, I had prepared everything for you. Short is enough. Now, you said to me, I had prepared everything for you. Now change it. So how should I change it now? If I want to change, bring it down. What do you say? You said to me. Now, after that, we use what? That. I. How should I change I? First person. Changes according to the subject. So that you, I becomes what? You. Had prepared becomes what? Had prepared. So everything becomes what? Everything. For whom? So who is you? Second person. So you becomes what? Me. You becomes me. So you said to me that you had prepared everything for me. So present perfect, past perfect changes to past perfect. It means it remains unchanged. It means it doesn't change. If I have a past perfect continuous tense, how should I change it? If I have a past perfect continuous tense, how should I change it now? Past perfect continuous tense changes to again to itself. Past perfect continuous. If I say a sentence, look, you told her you had been working so hard. You had been working so hard. Change it now. You told her you had been working so hard. How should I change it now? Okay. So here we bring it down. What do we say? You told her. After that, what do we use? That. Now, you. First person, second or third? Okay. It's the second person. Changes according to the object. Her becomes what? She. Had been becomes what? Had been. And working is what? Working. So hard is also so hard. Understood? Okay. Now, these are the tenses that can be changed. Let's go and talk about the future tenses. You have any questions? No questions? Okay. Now let's go and talk about the future tenses. Do you know how we can change the future tenses? Okay. Okay, let's go and talk about them. So, if I have a simple, number one, if I have a simple future, how should I change a simple future tense to passive? How should I change it? For the future, will changes to what? Would. Now here, we can call this first one changes to what tense? Conditional tense, simple conditional tense. What tense? Simple conditional tense. So let me write another way. Let me write the examples, then we will talk about each of them one by one. Look, if I say he said to me, he said to me, I will actually stay with you. Now, I will stay with you. How should I change it? He said to me, I will stay with you. Now, how should I change it? We just change will to would. What do we say? He said to me that. Who is he? He. Will changes to what? Would. Stay is stay with you. Who is you? Second person. Changes according to the object. And you becomes again me. If I have another tense like this, if I say he said to, for example, her, he said to her, I will be actually cleaning the house. Now, how should I change this tense? He said to her, I will be cleaning the house. So how should I change? We can say he said to her. Now that I changes to what? He. Will becomes what? Would. Be is be cleaning the house. Next tense. If I have another tense. If I have a tense like this, look, if I say he said to, for example, her, look, I will have sent you a letter. So how should I change this one? He said to her, I will have sent you a letter. I can say he, very nice, he said to her, I changes to what? That he, and will changes to what? Would. He would have sent you. Who is you? Huh? You is the second person. Second person changes according to the object. So what is object here? Her. Sent her a what? Letter. And if I have another tense, the last tense, if I have another tense, if I say she said here, she said to him, she said to me, him, you will have been working here. Change it. She said to him, you will have been working here. Now how should I say? She said to him. After that, what do we use? That. Who is you? Second person. It changes according to the object. So you becomes what? He. Will becomes what? Would have been working here. Changes to there. You're trying to report it. Now, these are all the future tenses. The first, what is the first one? The first one is simple. What tense? Simple future tense. I said in the future tense, you just change what? Will to would. Now, simple future tense changes to what tense? This is structure. That he would stay with me. He would stay. What tense is this? It is a conditional tense. Simple conditional tense. We have 4 conditional tenses, okay? Now, if I have a future, look, this, what tense is this? This is a future continuous. Now, future continuous changes to what? This, what tense is this? This is structure. No, this is structure. Would be cleaning. This structure is called conditional continuous. So what do we say? This tense changes to conditional what? Continuous tense. Now, if I have a future perfect, what is this? This structure is what? Future perfect. Now, future perfect changes to this structure. What do we call this structure? Would have sent is conditional. We can say perfect conditional. What tense? Perfect conditional tense. This is structure. And if I have future, look, if I have future perfect, what? Future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense changes to what? Perfect, tell me. Perfect conditional continuous tense. So how should I write now? If I have simple future, number 2, if I have future what? Future continuous changes to what? Conditional continuous. Number 3, if I have future perfect, future perfect changes to what? Perfect conditional. And number 4, if I have future perfect continuous, future perfect continuous changes to what? Perfect conditional continuous. Is it confusing? Now, just remember, in the future, just change will to would. Simple future changes to simple conditional. Future continuous changes to conditional continuous tense. That structure would be verb ing. What conditional tense is that? Conditional continuous tense. And future perfect, we just change will to would and it becomes what? Future perfect continuous. So not future perfect continuous here. Sorry. Yeah, future conditional. Do you understand? And if I have future perfect continuous, it changes to future perfect conditional continuous. These are structures. This structure would plus a verb is simple conditional. And here would plus v verb ing is what? conditional continuous tense. And if I have would plus have plus third form of the verb, what is this? This is perfect conditional tense. And here the last one, this would plus have been verb ing. What structure is this? That is perfect conditional continuous tense. You have any questions? This is how we can change it. Now let's go and talk about the modal auxiliary verbs. Should I clean? Now, let's go and talk about how to change the modal auxiliary verbs. What are the modal auxiliary verbs? So, let's start from can. Can changes to what? Could. May changes to what? Might. And if I have shall changes to what? Shall changes to would. Next one, next tense, what do we have? Next one, if I have must changes to, what do we change must? Must changes to must to, and it can also changes to had to. Okay, and it can also changes to what? Would have to. Now if I have another tense, what is another tense? If I have another tense, what tense is that? Have to. Have to changes to what? Had to. Now, if I have these modal auxiliary, the first one, could, if we have could changes to again, could. Might again changes to might. Could, would again changes to what? Would. Had to is had to, and they are. This is how we can change it. And if I have need, especially needn't changes to what? Needn't. Needn't changes to needn't, or sometimes it can also change to wouldn't have to. What? Wouldn't have to. Or it can also change to what? Didn't have to. Now let's make examples for each. The first one, if I say he told me, look, he told me I can't dance, how should I change it? He told me I can dance. So we can say he told me, I becomes he, sorry, that he can becomes what? Could dance. Or the next sentence, if I say he said to her, I may call you. Change it now. I may call you. Change it. So what should I say? He said to her, he said to her that. Who is I? First person, second, or third person? So it's I is the actually the first person changes according to the subject. So may becomes what? Might. He might call. Who is you? Second person. Second person changes according to the object. What is the object? Her. You becomes her. Or if I have another tense, if I say she told me I shall help you. Change it now. She told me I shall help you. How should I say now? She told me that I becomes what? She shall becomes what? Would, that she would help. Who is you? You becomes what? Me. She told me that she would help me. That's how you can change it. And if I have must, for example, he told me, look, he told me I must leave. How should I change now? I must leave. Let's say here if I have now to change it now. He, very nice, he told me that. I is the first person, second, or third person? So I becomes what? He. It becomes must leave. Now becomes what? Didn't. Or I can also say, instead of must, what should I say? I can say I had to leave. Or I can also say I would have to leave. All of them are right. Can you understand? Now, if I have another example, let's write the example here. If I have a sentence, for example, if I say needn't, look, you told me, I needn't, look, I needn't stay in Kabul. I needn't stay in Kabul. How should I change? You told me I needn't stay in Kabul. Okay, so what should I say? You told me that. So I becomes what? You. We can also say what? Needn't stay, went in Kabul. You can also write here, instead of needn't, we can also say didn't what? Didn't have to. Or I can also say what? Wouldn't have to. Did you understand? So these are the ways that we can change the morals. And if I have, in these sentences, sometimes you're faced with the problems and you don't know what to do and how to change, especially if I have a sentence like this. Look, if you say, he told me, I should go abroad. I should go abroad. Now, how should I change it? He told me I should go abroad. Very nice. We can say he told me that he should what? Should go what? Abroad. So should changes to should. Should changes to what? Should. Now the next one, if I have the same case, if I have could changes to could, might changes to might, would changes to would, and if I say the rest of them actually. And I forgot to write well. Well also changes to what? As I said, well changes to would. And if I have would again changes to would. Do you have any questions so far? No. Shall changes to would, not should. Shall changes to would, because the pronoun changes, you know. So if the pronoun changes, then we don't use shall for he and she for future tenses, yes? And in that case, that's why we can change this one. Now, let's go and talk about how to change the questions. But before I talk about the questions, let's say how we can change let's. How can I change let's? Do you know let's? How should I change let's to indirect speech? If I have a sentence like this, look, let's actually play football today. Let's play football today. Now, how can I change it to indirect speech? How should I change it to indirect speech? Okay, let's play football. Now, if I want to change, for example, who suggested it? Could be I suggested or you suggested. And here you say, let's play football. We can say she suggested. So what is this? It's a suggestion, isn't it? She suggested. After suggested, we use jaran. We can say she suggested what? Playing football. She suggested playing football. And today changes to that day. Or I can also say like this. She suggested that, we use a clause, that we, or we can also say they, what? They should, what? Play. They should play football. They should play football. Went that day. We have two ways of changing it. Look, we can either use just gerund after suggest, or you can use suggested, but here we use we and they. It can be both. So if she suggested actually that I'm also included, I'm the reporter here, then I have to say what? Would. Sorry, we. But if I only talk about them, she and actually her friends, in that case I should use what? They. And after that we use should, because should is used for what? Suggestion. They should play football that day. Let's see another example. If I have a sentence like this, if I say let's have a match. Let's have a match. How should I change it? If I want to change it to indirect speech, how should I change it? We have two ways. First one, what should I say? We can say he this time. He suggested what? He suggested have or having? Having a match. What's another way? Another way I can also say he suggested that that we, or it can also be what? They should have a match. They or we or they should have a match. Remember, if you want to change let's, that's the way we can change it. Should I give more examples? That's enough. If I said it like this, let's have a party. You can say you suggested having a party, or you suggested that we or they have a, should have a party. Doesn't matter. So we can change it. Any question? Yeah, of course we can use. After suggest, suggested play football. Suggested to play football. Yeah, it's possible we use. There are some verbs which are followed by both of them, gerund and also what? Infinitive. Now, so let's go and talk about the things that we cannot change the tense. Look, we can't change what? We can't change the tense. When? Can you tell me? We cannot change the tense. First one. If I have wish clause, or if I have wish clause, or tell me, if I have had better, or if I have what? Would rather, or sooner, or if I have it is time. Subjunctive. You know subjunctive? If we have these subjunctives, we do not change what? We do not change, except had better is not subjunctive. The rest of them actually, we do not change the tense. For example, let's say the example. If I say he told me actually, I wish. Look, I wish I had a car. So here, how should I change this sentence in indirect speech? Look at the word. Listen very carefully. So here, what do we say? He told me. He told me that I. We can change the pronoun. I becomes what? He. Why? Because it's the first person. We use wish. We change wish. But the tense after that doesn't change. You can say he wished. And then again, I becomes what? He had is had. Had a car. Did you understand? So we don't change it. If I have another sentence, like with had better. Look. She said to him. You had better see a doctor. Change it now. So, she said to him, you had better see a doctor. How should I change it now? We can say she said to him, very nice, that. Who is you? You is the second person. It changes according to the object. So you becomes he. Had better is what? Had better. And see becomes what? See a doctor. You had better see doctor. If I have would rather, would sooner, when do we use them? When do we use would rather, would sooner? For preferences. You forgot that. He told me, look, he told me, I would rather stay, for example, stay here. Now, how should I change it now? He told me I would rather stay here. How should I change? So we can say he told me that I becomes what? He would rather is what? Would rather stay. Stay is stay. Here. Here changes to there. If you are not in Kabul, we can say there. Understood? The next tense. If I have another tense, if I have its time, do you remember its time? Yes. We use for subjunctive. After its time, we use what subjunctive? Okay. She told me. She told me it is time. Look, it's time. It is time. For example, we went home. It is time. Let's say I went home. Now change it now. So we can say she told me. So that we use it is time becomes what? It was time. We can change it. It was time. Very nice. It was time. I becomes what? She went what? Home. Now remember, after these phrases and these words, we do not change the tense. And the number 2, in conditional type 2 and type 3, we don't change it. Should I clean this one? The examples. If I have a conditional type 2, for example, if you say she said to me, very easy, she said to me, she said to me if I studied, look, if I studied hard, I would pass the what? The test. How should I change it to indirect speech? She said to me, what conditional type is this? Conditional type 2. We don't change the tense. We change the rest of them. What do we say? She said to me that if she, what is I here? First person, changes according to the subject. What do we say? If she studied hard, very nice, and then we can say she would pass the test. She would pass the test. Condition type 2. If I have condition type 3, if I say this time he told her, if you had lent me some money, if you had lent me some money, look, if you had lent me some money, I would have bought this car. How should I change it now? He told her, if you had lent me some money, I would have bought this car. How should I change it? What conditional is this? Conditional type 3. How should I change? We can say he told her that. If, who is you? Second person. It changes according to the object. If she had lent her, me becomes what? Me is changes according to the first person actually, and the first person is he. So if she had lent him some money, and then after that, what do we say? I would have bought this car. I becomes the first person. It changes he. That he would have what? Bought this car becomes what? That car. So this is condition type 2 and type 3. Number 3, if we have a general what? Fact. Something which is always true. For example, she told me, listen up, she told me actually the world, the earth is round. How should I change it now? She told me the earth is round. How should I report it? I have to say, she told me that. You don't have to say the earth was round. What do we say? We can say the earth is round. Is it hard? no hurt. Or if I say he told me, look, he told me God is one. Change it now. Can I say he told me God was one? Today God is two. He told me that actually God is one. For general truth, we do not change the tense. Now, these are all about how we cannot change the tenses. First one, which clause? Had better, would rather, would sooner, it is time. We don't change the tense only. The next one, in conditional type 2 and type 3, we don't change the tense. And in general fact, we don't change the tense. You have any questions?